Hey guys, welcome back to Builds by Maz. Today I'll be showing you how we transformed this messy closet into a functional and organized workspace. Some wall paneling and dark paint made a big difference on its own, but the real star of this project were these built-in shelves, and I'll show you how you can build your own anywhere in your home. Let's get started. I'd already removed these doors when I was installing the hardwood flooring in this room. If you haven't seen that video, you can click on the link in the top right. I still had to remove this hinge hardware, which was just a matter of unscrewing everything out of the door jamb. I then wanted to remove this middle strip from the doorway since it won't be needed anymore and it'll look cleaner without it. I used a razor blade to cut through the caulking, and then with a chisel I was able to just pry it off. This should be pretty easy to remove, as it's probably just held in place with staples or thin nails. You can see here that there was a lot of leftover caulk, and you'll need to make sure you scrape all of that off. Next, I used some of the Stap spackling to fill in any of the holes left from the hardware. It doesn't need to be perfect at this point, you just want to overfill it a bit so that you can sand it down later and it'll be flush with the rest of the doorway. Don't worry if it's not perfect on your first go around. You can see here that after sanding, the indentation was still visible. So I added more spackling and then resanded the next day, and this time it was flush. Be sure to also fill in any leftover nail holes. Once that was all done, I gave everything a couple of coats of fresh paint, and this is what the new door trim looked like. The next step was to remove all this existing closet hardware. After removing all the visible screws, I tried taking out this shelf, but it wouldn't budge, so I had to try and figure out how it was still attached. I used a magnet around the edges, and I could definitely feel that there was some metal underneath. I sanded everything down just to show you, but here you can see a couple of the brad nails that were holding the shelf in. I went in with my crowbar and pried this thing up. There were actually a surprising amount of nails holding this shelf in place, and it took me a while to remove it, and I had to resort to smacking it with my hammer from underneath. I removed the remaining hardware that was attached with screws, and then pried off these side pieces that were nailed into the wall. I highly recommend that you line up your crowbar with the studs in the wall, or this might happen. I didn't even think about it, but when I was trying to pry away these boards, it just broke right through the drywall. Lining the crowbar up with the stud will hopefully add some extra support and prevent that from happening. This wasn't the cleanest job, but I'm going to cover everything with panels anyway, so I didn't really care too much. I then went through and repeated the entire process again for this second shelf. Now that I had a clean slate, it was time to start building things back up. I sanded down some of this drywall just to make sure everything was smooth so that the paneling would sit flat. I measured out all the dimensions that I was going to need to cut, and you can see that we were also starting to test out some paint colors. Using my Craig saw guide, I ripped down this board to size. The one tricky part was this little piece of molding that was sticking out that I needed to account for. After measuring out its position, I cut out a little notch using my jigsaw. I did a test run just to see how everything was going to fit and to make sure I cut everything properly to size. You can see there's a little gap here where I still need to cut one more piece, but that notch I cut out fit perfectly. After cutting this final piece, it was time to start painting. We chose this deep sage green color, which helped give the closet some character. With paneling like this, we found that it's easiest to use a brush to fill in all the gaps, and then go back over everything else with a roller. This was all pretty straightforward, and we ended up giving it 2 coats. Once the paint had dried, we used liquid nails to attach everything to the walls. Since we'd already done a dry run, I knew that everything was going to fit properly, but it was still a little tricky maneuvering these big pieces into place, especially with one side covered with glue. I couldn't really think of a good way to hold these in place without using nails, and in the end I just used a shower rod and a mixture of clamps. It worked out alright, and I knew the shelving was going to add additional support later on anyway. I then used this caulking along the edges of the panels to fill in any gaps. Once everything was painted over, it created a really seamless look. Next, it was time to begin work on the built-in shelves and desk area. I marked off all the studs in the closet and then measured the correct height for each of the shelves. The internal structure of these built-in shelves is going to be made up of simple 2x2s. You can use this same technique for making built-ins anywhere in your home. I attached the first piece to the back of the wall, and after ensuring it was level, I screwed it in to every available stud. For the side pieces, there was only one stud available, so I had to utilize pocket screws to make sure that it would remain level and secure. I installed the back end into the newly installed 2x2 and the front end into the door jamb. Once everything was level, I also added a screw into the one available stud. The more support points you have, the stronger your floating shelf is going to be, and these will be able to hold plenty of weight. Then I went ahead and started cutting out the actual surfaces for the shelving. This is 3/4 inch plywood, which I think is plenty thick enough for most shelving applications. I mitered the front edge so that I can seamlessly attach a front piece. This is what will add thickness to the shelving and give the illusion of it being one solid piece. I sanded everything down until it was smooth, and then after preparing the wood with pre-stained wood conditioner, I gave it a coat of Minwax English Chestnut stain. As always, be sure to wipe down any excess stain before it dries, so it can get a smooth, uniform look. I did a test run with this first piece just to make sure that everything was going to work, and once I was satisfied and I liked the color, I went ahead and proceeded to the other two shelves. It was the exact same process with two main differences. These shelves didn't extend all the way to the door jamb, so I wasn't able to use that extra pocket screw for additional support. Instead, I cut out a couple small lengths of the 2x2 lumber to add extra support in the middle. I just used pocket screws to attach these to the back of the wall, and these will also aid with holding up the bottom section of the shelving, as you'll see in just a bit. I ripped down these other two shelving tops, again mitering them at a 45-degree angle. Along the way, I messed up my calculations and ran out of wood for the final shelf top. Instead of buying an entire new piece of plywood, I decided to make the last shelf top with two half pieces, connecting them together with dowels and wood glue. I lined up the pieces, and using my markings as a guide, used my dowel jig to drill into the edges of both pieces. Here's a side view. It's not really centered perfectly, but in this case, these dowels aren't going to be seeing anyways, and they're really just used more for alignment purposes. So I decided to just roll with it. I used a strong wood glue in all the dowel holes as well as along the edge of both boards. Inserting the dowels, lining them up, putting them together, and clamping it down tightly. I did a test run of both these pieces, putting the makeshift board on top where no one would be able to see the cut line or the dowels. While these are in position, I glued the front piece to the top piece of the shelf, putting glue on the mitered edges of both and clamping it in place. It'd be best to use corner clamps made specifically for mitered edges, but in this situation, I just made sure to put clamps vertically and horizontally to keep the edges secure. Once the glue dried, I moved the shelves back to my garage to finish them up. First, I filled in any gaps along the mitered edge with wood filler. If you're a woodworking expert, you might not need to do this, but for the average DIYer, you'll probably have some gaps in between your cut lines, and that's totally fine. The wood filler fills everything in perfectly, and once it's stained, you'll never know it's there. I used that same English chestnut stain for the remaining shelving. This angle really shows how important it is to wipe off your excess stain so you don't have a streaky, uneven finish. We ended up giving everything 2 coats just to make the stain a little bit darker. Once the stain was completely dry, I went over it with this Varathane clear satin polyurethane to give it a protective and waterproof coating. I gave it 3 coats, giving everything a very light sanding with 600 grit sandpaper in between each coat to remove any dust nibs. I also tried out the spray version of that same polyurethane just for fun. The application was super easy, but just know that this is a more expensive option because it doesn't provide as much coverage per can. With the shelves complete, it was time to glue them into place. I used glue all along the edges of these 2x2 supports, and then place the shelving in on top. Gravity will do most of the work for you here, but you still want to make sure you press them down hard or use some kind of weights on top of the shelves to make sure that it adheres properly to the supports. I almost made a big mistake here because I wasn't able to fit my larger desktop shelf in, but luckily the glue on the prior shelf wasn't dried yet, so I was able to lift it up, fit this in, and then press both back into place. I then actually screwed the front piece of the shelving into the door jamb, just to give it an extra amount of support. Finally, I cut out the bottoms of the shelving. I used 1/4-inch plywood for this. It's cheaper, easier to work with, and it's only there for aesthetic purposes anyway. I finished these pieces just like everything else, using the same wood stain and polyurethane. Once it was dried, I applied glue all along the edges and along the support beams in the middle, and lifted it up, attaching it to the shelf. This was a pretty snug fit, and it could almost stay up on its own. But until the glue was fully dried, I secured the front with clamps all along the edge, and used thin finishing nails hammered into the 2x2 along the back end. You won't be able to see these, but it will prevent any sagging. I then repeated that same process with the other 2 shelves, clamping and nailing them into place until the glue was dried. With the shelves finally finished, this closet was starting to look brand new. The last thing I wanted to do was add a power source to this closet. I wish there was an outlet right here, but I noticed that there was one on the other side of this wall, which gave me an idea. Instead of having to go through all the hassle of creating a brand new electrical box on the other side, I decided to just cut a hole through the wall and utilize this one. I drilled this small hole from the other side just to gauge about where the hole was, and then cut out a larger section from the inside of the closet. I now had this clean hole passing all the way through the wall that I could run wires through. I used the same cable management kit that I've used in one of my previous videos. If you haven't seen that one about hiding wires behind your TV, you can click on the link in the top right. I then did the same thing on the other side of the wall. This isn't as nice as having a new electrical outlet here, but it was much easier. All I had to do was pull the cord tight and it was good to go. And here's our finished closet. This is such an improvement over what we originally had. We also ended up adding this cordless stick-on light just to add some more working light to the area. Not only does this closet look so much better, it's also functional as a workspace if we need it to be. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to catch the next project.